to do today.
The whole new acronym thing drives me effing bananas. Can we call him by his name?
Shelter and Mass on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
And I understand why people want to hear from me on this. It is funny that they're holding me to some sort of standards. Stugotz, if it was someone else, you'd go right after them. What? So I understand why people want to hear from me on this front. They are well aware. People who have listened to me for a long time are well aware of the relationship I have with Dianna Russini, how many times she has been on this show, how good she has been to this show, and they want to hear, and they know I talk to her. And so they want to hear from my perspective what is going on with Dianna Russini. And I will tell you this, even if Dianna Russini told me all the details, I wouldn't share them with you. No. And she's a real friend. And so I'm not a journalist. I'm a talk show host. And when my real friends fall on some difficult times, I like to support my friends and talk to them and be someone that listens, not talks, listens. This is her story to share.
Sure.
When she feels like sharing it. It is not me, and it is not my obligation to talk to Dianna Russini privately on the phone and then share it with a radio audience that she doesn't want me to share it with, because it's not my story to tell.
Right.
It is her story to tell on her timeline.
Stugotz. John Wiener? Or Weiner, I'm sorry. I know him, and super nice guy. We have mutual friends, and I've known him for a little bit. So I'm sorry you know me with names. Even though I know him, I can't. Is it Wiener or Weiner? But it's Stugotz. You know him. Used to work with Levitard. And as you heard there, has developed a close relationship or, friendly relationship with Dianna Russini. And people have been saying, well, how come you won't tell us what you know? Why don't you go, da-da-da? And he just explained it. Not a journalist. I'm a talk show host. And, well, this is all just a way of saying some people took, he on his show, his podcast, he went there yesterday. And I guess he hasn't really gone there since the story broke last month. And some people are taking that as a indication that she's about to come out and say something or do something, etc. And that's why he went there, or the people are supposing that's why he went there, because she's about to herself. So as we talk about what's the next shoe to drop with Vrabel, isn't this the next shoe to drop with Vrabel?
Yes.
Yeah, without question. We don't know her side of all of this.
Yeah, I
do
mean,
you
again.
do you think we're going to get it?
Well, I mean, doesn't that kind of depend? In other words, let's say let's say Mike Vrabel goes to ownership and goes to Robert and says, look, I know I screwed up here. This could get worse. Here's a way to make this go away. And that's an NDA, right? Open up that checkbook. This is something that Mike Florio talked a little bit on Pro Football Talk, so I'm just kind of echoing what he said, but I could see it. Because if she said something that could exacerbate this, and it could be bad for Vrabel, remember, now the team is back. You just went to the Super Bowl. This is going to be his second season. And even if it's like, I wouldn't think it would be bad. I mean, this whole thing's been bad. If she came out and said, look, I loved him this whole time, and those children were really his. Like, that's bad in terms of her marriage and the relationship, but, and there'll be some blowback. Some people might think that's bad enough, he's got to go. Some people already think he's got to go. I don't. I'd like to see him back. But if he thinks the heat's going to be too bad, then I could understand him going to ownership and saying, look, this needs to go away. You got to pay her off. That's how we might not hear from her. And I think that's well within reason.
I think it's the most likely scenario. And I don't even know if it's the Patriots or the league. I don't even know. I'll keep it the opaque. Is that the right word? The obtuse powers that be. She could do a lot of damage to the league. According to some reporters out there, the gal that got fired from USA Today.
Oh, right, yeah.
And other, things that have been reported and been in the public sphere. Mike Vrabel may not have been her only relationship. So she's got a lot of things to say about a lot of people. It's in a lot of people's interest not to have Dianna Russini come out and do a tell-all.
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. What am I? Jeez, I'm an idiot.
It's not just Vrabel.
Yeah, it's not just the Vrabel and Patriots. She could sit there and say, do you know how much horse trading is going on, like doing for secrets and doing for scoops? Here, let me name names. If you're the NFL, you're like, oh, my God, we got to make this stop.
She could do some damage.
Yeah.
Because I think she's...
well, she's well entrenched and has been in the league for a long time. And
yes. Right. I'm just trying to be delicate how to say it, but I just think she could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, so
to the league, not just to Vrabel, not just to the Patriots, but to a lot of people in and around the league. And I don't think the league is going to let it happen. So I don't know who writes the check is I guess what I'm saying,
Sure.
Murray.
But someone's probably going to have to.
But it's not just that, though. There's other ways to do this. Dianna, do you still want to be an NFL reporter?
Well, right.
Right? Because if she goes scorched earth, she's,
It's over.
Over.
Yeah, well, so this is what I mean. A lot of this depends on, whether she thinks she can work again.
So she'd be willing to play. She's been playing ball her whole career. She's been playing ball. So she'll play ball for perhaps she will. I don't know, right? But all I'm saying is I don't know if it just needs to be an NDA. I don't know if it needs to be Vrabel. I just think I would be stunned. I mean, I would be thrilled, but I would be stunned if she did some sort of tell-all and brought people down. I just do not think that's going to happen. Either she's going to do it for her own self-interest. It will be made worth her while. There will be a reason she's not going to bring people down. And maybe it could be as simple as, well, the further I go with this, the more truth I really tell, the more damage I'm doing to my children and my family. And, do I want to be that notorious? If she wanted to be, I think she could do some real damage. I just don't think it's going to get to that. I don't think we're going to get much out of her when it comes to this. I don't.
Well, so I wonder, too, why are we assuming that she wants to make things worse for Vrabel? I'm just
right. No, that's another good point.
So I'm using Vrabel, right? But now I can't speak to anybody else in the league. But this thing was not, at least in terms of the relationship between the two of them. To the best of my knowledge or our knowledge, this was not Vrabel's fault. Vrabel doesn't like it any more than she does. Now, maybe.
What do you mean this wasn't Vrabel's fault?
The fact that it came out. I don't think Vrabel wanted it to come out either, right? I guess my question is, why would she be angry at Vrabel right now? Because Vrabel, acknowledged a mistake?
So I don't know if she would be angry or what would make the most compelling interview if I just tell the truth. I'm not bringing anybody down. We had a great relationship. We had a great thing. And this is how it went down.
Yeah, so look, if there were more details, yeah.
But
I understand that
but,
point.
But Maz, Dondero last week, says he thinks they're in love.
I agree. No, I think that she loves him, and vice versa. I think that they were in love with this. I mean, 6 years.
Well,
might be more than that.
It's kind of corny, but
no, right.
If you're just banging
a commitment there.
Well, if you're banging someone in a hotel room, you don't need to make them a playlist. You're not making them playlists. You're just banging them in the hotel room, and not even thinking about it. You make a playlist, Maz, for someone you want. It's thoughtful.
Yeah.
Did you even know the playlist thing? You were off last week.
No, I know I saw the playlist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
So,
I'm trying to think of whether or not I made anybody a playlist. But go ahead.
Maybe she won't bring him down because she loves him. That's possible. But I just don't think she is. I'd be stunned if she did. Either for just those organic reasons, she loves him and doesn't want to bring him down. She still wants to be in the NFL world. Mm-hmm. And if she wants to be in the NFL world, she can't take the NFL down. Or, there's an arrangement. I just don't think it's going to happen. But it was just interesting here. Someone finally kind of speak for her. Jimmy Stewart, can you play number 2? Stugat's number 2 here from his podcast yesterday.
People want those details. They're not really interested in, the complexities of the relationship and whether or not she's been compromised. She's been compromised. She knows the optics are bad on this. Trust me, okay? I know the optics are bad on this. I was surprised when I saw the pictures, and this is coming from a person who knows she's had a close relationship. I didn't know it was this kind of close, but has a close relationship with Mike Vrabel and has been friendly with him for years. And that might be all that it is. I have no idea. Again, she hasn't told me. She's been great to me. I will say that on the front end. Mm-hmm. She has been great to me. She has been there for me at times when I have needed her to be there for me. She is warm. She's compassionate. I love her, and I don't care what happens moving forward. Sure. I'll continue to be her friend. I'll continue to support her. I'll continue to love Dianna Russini. Yeah. The fact that because of my friendship with her, I am held to some sort of expectation to share every single salacious detail that I discuss privately with Dianna Russini with the audience is laugh out loud funny.
Okay, so, again, I guess people are on him to reveal stuff, and he's obviously not doing it. You have a thought, Maz?
No, I would just say good for him. I mean,
right, yeah.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. I get that. I mean, we've all been in a...
I'm not a journalist. I'm a talk show host. I'd love to use that more often. but I beat up the journalists enough that I feel I can't.
Well, I mean, we also came from a world where he didn't necessarily come from, right? I don't know.
I used to be.
Yeah. I don't know what his background is, but did he ever work in
No, I think he was. I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah. So, like, it's a totally different thing. And look, we've all been there. Like, so I'm not. No, that's my only thought is that I won't beat him up for it.
I respect that he's just upfront about it.
Yeah, right.
Like, the thing that bothers me is that they just, a lot of talk show hosts, like, just admit that you have a personal relationship with someone, and so I'm compromised. And then it's all up front. Then what does someone have? Oh, why are you going easy on Vrabel? Well, I have a good relationship with him, or I'm friendly with him away from the field, or he does an interview with me, and I don't want to ruin that. If I go too deep on the story, I like interviewing Mike Vrabel and the access I have to Mike Vrabel, so I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So just admit it. Like, it's okay. I can be a little harder on the Red Sox than I can the Patriots or the Bruins because we don't have a partnership with them on the station. That's just a fact. So, kind of own it. If you just own the relationship, then I don't know if you're cleared, but at least you're just telling the truth. Just tell the truth. And so Stu Gatz is like, no, I've got a personal relationship with her. I'm not going to, even if she told me what was going on, I'm not telling you. Say whatever you want. Just tell the truth. But anyway, I mean, that's a sidebar. A lot of people think that he's doing this now because she's about to do something. And I'm telling you, I would just be, Mike Florio wrote a whole thing that by Stu Gatz doing this yesterday was a sign that she's edging her way towards coming out.
I mean, it's been a month. It feels like we're due, right?
I just don't, she might do it.
Yeah.
I just don't think she's taking anyone down. Just give me one more, Stu, because it's kind of interesting to hear. I guess it's the first time I've heard someone talk for Dianna Russini.
I also don't think a month is really that long.
It's definitely not.
I mean, how long was it before the woman from the Coldplay thing came out? Was it a year?
I don't think it was that long, but
that long.
Several months.
Number 3, please.
Stu.
Yeah.
I cannot get over how bad this playlist is.
I mean, shoot her a text and tell her she'll laugh. She needs to laugh. I made her laugh like twice. She got a good night's sleep once. I am telling you, when I talk to Dianna on the phone, it's not the same Dianna, okay? If that makes people feel better, feel worse, I don't really give a shit. I'm just telling you, that zest, that kind of bounce in her step, that pep in her step, when I talk to her, I don't hear it nearly as much as I used to, obviously. That should go without saying. To suggest that Dianna isn't feeling this and her family isn't impacted by this is laugh out loud funny. They're impacted. Congratulations, you won.
Okay, so it was just interesting. Yes, Murray, do you have a thought?
No.
You're smirking over there. You got some kind of smirk.
Yeah, I mean, if there's things she could say, even if she's in love with him, because now she's been the side chick. So if it's been this long, she loves him. It should have been a relationship. She always wanted to be a relationship. She could still sink Mike Vrabel or make him look worse if she did get up in front of a camera or whatever or got on a podcast and said, look, I told him to leave his wife. And he always talked to me like how we wanted to, but he felt trapped or so on and so forth. Like, there's still things she could say that could make him look way worse. So even just from a Patriots Vrabel standpoint, I think it would be in his best interest to go to ownership and say, pay her off. She can't talk.
Well, let me tell you, I think there's hardly anything, even if she's supportive of him or is still in love with him or they're destined to be together and she wants to, if she addresses anything to do with it, I think it's going to be a bad day for him. Because it just brings it up.
Right. It just brings it right back.
It brings it up and puts it in the headline. And there's nothing she can say at this point that I think is going to get someone to believe that it didn't happen.
No, it would hurt. Her talking would hurt.
Like, period, right? Like,
no, because it extends it. I mean, the only way the thing dies is for people to stop talking about it. So, no, absolutely. Even if there were no new details, someone will perceive a detail. Now we got to ask Vrabel about it. Like, no. Better for him if she says nothing. Zero, just disappears.
So it is a shoe to drop. It's just going to drop. When is it and how big of a footprint, to carry out the analogy? It's coming. But I don't know what form it's going to take. All right, so back to your thoughts on everything right after this. Whee! Goalie fight. Whee! Look at the goalie fight.
Whoa.
Naz.
Oh, my God.
Murray.
He sucks in the playoffs.
That's great. No.
98.5.
Wonderful. Good.
The Sports Hub.
We're one development away from something that makes it impossible for him to return. I think that there is a non-zero chance he's not the coach come week 1. Because I look at it this way. We've already had 22 days of developments, and a lot of this is the product of horrible PR management. Horrible. Like, they will be studying in universities for decades to come what not to do when faced with a PR crisis. One more photo dump, or I think at some point Russini's going to say, I got nothing to do but tell my story. What if she tells her story to Today's Show or 60 Minutes or wherever? What does she say? I don't know. Is that the tipping point where Mike Vrabel can't coach the Patriots this year? So they better have a plan ready to go, because we're one news cycle away, potentially at any given moment, from him not being able to coach the team this year.
Vrabel thing may not be over, which may be true. I would be really surprised if whatever Dianna Russini says when she ultimately goes public is the thing that does him in. I'd just be stunned. I don't know if she wants to do it in the first place. And even if she does, I think it's going to be so that it's not, no one's going to let it happen. Or the powers that be aren't going to let it happen. But anyway, there's that. Back to your thoughts on everything. Paul in Rivera. Go ahead, Paul.
Guys, have you been playing the Jaylen Brown superstar comment that I just missed it? Because that's Felder and Mavs red meat, man. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What was
someone dropped the ball. Listen, post-game press conference, Jaylen Brown calling Jason Tatum a superstar. You got to have it.
Okay. Is he being... Okay. All right. We'll get it.
Okay, why is that controversial?
I don't know.
He's not a superstar?
I guess we're going to have to hear
it. I'd have to hear the context. But in and of itself, that's not a outrageous statement.
We'll look it up, caller. Dexter in the car. Go ahead, Dexter.
Hey, boys. The only duality I want to hear from Mazzulla now is how much ass he's going to suck in one particular night. Is it going to be a little bit and we're going to, shoot 53s and somehow still win? Or is it going to be a lot of it and start Ron Harper, who I'm not sure even started in high school? But moving forward, I want Mazzulla out, certainly. I think Brown's Twitch stream or whatever it is, he can at least, dribble with his left hand if he's going to go online and do that. To avoid as many turnovers as he has. But there's a young center in Houston I would entertain trading him for. I can't pronounce it, like Şengün or something like that. Yeah, but he seems like a pretty good target if you're going to make a major shakeup.
Okay, Şengün. I've watched him play. I like his game.
Yeah, sure.
He's got a 2-point. I don't know if he shoots threes or not, but he's got
No, I don't think he does. I'll check.
He's got a really proficient 2-point game. He's almost kind of a little bit of a throwback.
Yeah, he's a beast.
If I have this right, like he plays down low. Or he scores down low, it feels like. Would that be a good fit, Maz? More of a traditional inside scorer for Jason Tatum?
Well, so my answer to that is yes. I don't know if he's totally that guy. I mean, it looks like he passes the ball well, so that's good. I need to know more about the defense with him. He doesn't feel like he has the profile of a guy who would be good at the defensive end of the floor. I think that's important.
So he averages 20 points a game and shoots under 2 3-pointers a game. So he's a traditional 2-point basketball player.
Definitely a down low kind of player, at least on the offensive end, and he can pass. He's averaged 6 assists this year. I mean, that's pretty good. So for a guy that size, those are all good signs. I need to know more about the defense. I don't want another Vucevic.
Tony in Gloucester. Yes, Tony.
If we're being fair, Mike, which I know you like to be, I don't think Derek White has gotten enough of the blame pie of this sort of collapse in the postseason. Jason and Jaylen should be kept together, but at their best, they have a third fiddle who can be a reliable scorer. And real quick, nobody embodies Mazzulla's offense more than Derek White. That guy chucks it up like there's no tomorrow. And even when he's good at getting to the rim, he still tries to shoot his way out of it. So I'll hear your thoughts.
Okay, Tony. I think they ruined him.
They definitely did.
I think they ruined him. When I say they ruined him, with like everything with their philosophy, they just took it too far. Like, obviously, when Derek White first got here, they got more out of him offensively than San Antonio was getting.
Definitely.
He was, his shooting numbers improved, and he became more of an offensive threat when he got here.
Yeah, he has the ability to shoot threes. Instead, they tried to turn him into Kyle Korver.
So just because you have the ability to, as a role player, get hot and help offensively and shoot better than your previous team thought you could shoot, doesn't mean you turn into a guy who in Game 7 shot 16 3-pointers. If I'm not mistaken, I don't have the box score in front of me, but I think Derek White put it up 16 effing times from beyond the line. And I want to look that up right now because if I'm going to punch that out so hard, I should know the number. But I thought it was something absurd.
That sounds right.
I mean, he's had
16 3-pointers.
16! That's stupid. That's just dumb. He's not that good of a shooter. And even that good of a shooter probably shouldn't be shooting 16 times in a 1-point effing Game 7.
It's almost double what he averaged during the season.
It
basically is double.
Is freaking stupid. And if you ask the coach about it, I bet, you know what he's going to say?
They were good shots.
They were good shots. We liked the process. And that's why, that more than anything, is why you're porked. Unless you make real changes. It's fun. We're going to talk about Brown and Tatum and what they do on the personnel end. But as long as that is how you're managed, you're toast. You're toast. And you know that's how it's going to go down. And you can't win that way. You cannot win with Derek White shooting 16 3-pointers in a Game 7 elimination game. Got to have it. That's a 1-point game in the fourth quarter. You're not going to win like that. Sorry. But with this coach and this philosophy, that's what you're destined for.
He's right, though, that White's not taking enough criticism. He is the classic, based on this year now. He's the classic guy who, like, as soon as you increase the workload and make him try to, make him one of your top 2 players, which is what he was for most of the year, he's not good enough to do it.
But is that his fault or theirs?
No, that's theirs. It's theirs.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's theirs. But it also shows you what his limitations are. You want to put him out on the floor with Tatum and Brown and maybe even someone else, and he's the fourth option. He's a terrific piece. Good. I just think that this is how it works with most guys. It's all about how you're slotted. Once you're kicked into an area that you don't deserve to be in, you're gonna get exposed, and that's what happened to White.
So, but I've seen him do, maybe not 16, but I've seen him a launch party out there when Brown and Tatum are there. So Jimmy just informed me of the 16, 13 were deemed to be open. Was that open or wide open?
Open or wide open. So that's the closest defender is 3 to 6 feet away.
Right. Open is 3 feet. Wide open is 6 feet. So I guarantee you, those, I don't want to say a-holes because I don't know if they're a-holes as people, but what they've done to my sports makes them, in my mind, a bunch of effing a-holes where they're hardly even watching the game. They're just looking at the analytic end of the efficiency of an open three-pointer or a wide-open three-pointer. And so you take that shot. Even if you're not hitting it, even if it's a 1-point game, even if there's only 2 minutes left, this is how your team is run. And you're not going to win again doing this. But that's what they've turned Derek White into. Which is just preposterous.
It is. It's ridiculous. 16 threes.
You only needed a bucket.
That might have been a season high.
You only needed a bucket.
He had another game where he gets
16 effing 3 for that guy, who's a nice player and shoots better than San Antonio gave him credit for. That is true. But to turn him into that, you turned him into a monster. You ruined him. Here's Murray's update. Come back, big night tonight for the hockey team. Why? We'll explain right after the headlines. Sean and Lawrence. Go, Sean.
You keep saying, I didn't actually watch the game, whether it's Patriots, Celtics, Bruins, whatever. Isn't your job as a talk show host to actually watch sports?
So I would say my job is to get you to listen.
That is the job.
Mission accomplished.
Take this job and shove. Felger and Maz, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Pick number 6 belongs to the Boston Celtics.
It's the annual porking of the ping pong balls. Even if the ping pong balls bounce in your favor this year, the odds are likely you're going to get porked. It's the porking of the ping pong balls.
Pick number 5 goes to the Boston Celtics.
It's the porking of the ping pong balls.
Jeff Green. The 7th pick goes to the Boston Celtics. The 8th pick goes to the Boston Celtics.
With the first pick in the 1997 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Tim Duncan from Wake Forest University.
The Boston Celtics still have never had a number 1 draft choice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the porky of the ping pong ball.
And Ron Mercer standing by now before he heads to Boston.
I still have a lot of work to do, but then again, coach is familiar with me, and I'm kind of familiar with his system, so that helps me out a lot.
Well, that's an oldie but a goodie. It's really Celtics related. We just like to play it from time to time.
It's the porking.
It's the porking
of the ping pong ball.
We really haven't had to deal with this with the Bruins that much.
It's been a while. Well, last year we did.
Yeah.
Last
it worked
year
out in their favor.
No, they dropped. They were the 5th. It definitely did not work out in the Bruins' favor if you've watched Porter Martone.
Well, fair. Yeah.
Not that he set the world on fire, but Philly's still playing, and he's a part of it. And a lot of people like the cut of his jib. Did he go 6, Kevin, or 5? Was he was 6?
6, yeah.
So keep an eye on that one. Porter Martone vis-a-vis the BC kid. Who I didn't mind. When I watched him those first games, I'm being fair.
Weren't the Bruins one combination number away from getting 1? Did I remember that right?
Something like that, yeah.
I just like
it's number 2.
He's now the BC kid.
Yeah. Until the fat kid from Georgia.
The unkindest cut of all.
Exactly, right.
Wow.
So you might have gotten you dropped 2 spots. You were in that 5th. You were where Toronto was tonight, and you dropped to 7. And that's the difference between James Higgins, Porter Martone, or whoever went up there at 5.
7 would be a good outcome tonight.
So this time you want it. So Toronto, if you just joining us, Toronto gave you their first round pick last year for Brandon Carlo. What a trade. However, it is top 5 protected. Toronto tanked their balls off down the stretch and wound up after being around the 7, 8, 9 position the entire season. Wound up with the 5th highest lottery odds. They ended up in the 5th spot for tonight's lottery. Okay, they have, off the top of my head, I think they have is it a 42% chance of landing that number 5 pick and a 58% chance of landing at 6 or 7.
I think it's 42% chance of being in the top 5.
That's right.
58% to be out of.
That's right. So if they fall out, yes, it's 58.2%. They have a 58.2% chance of landing at 6 or 7, leaving them with a 41 point whatever chance.
41.9.
41.9 of landing in the top 5. If it lands in the top 5, you're out. If it lands at 6 or 7, you get the pick. It's a huge ass swing. I'm going to explain to you what happens to the pick if it doesn't convey tonight. It's a cluster. What happens if it doesn't convey tonight? But suffice it to say, you have a chance for back-to-back top 10 picks. Higgins and then whatever you get this year, if those ping pong balls fall your way. If they don't, then you've got to wait a year or 2, and it's not going to be that high of a pick probably. Huge swing tonight, Maz.
Sure, yeah, massive.
Huge swing for the organization.
No, huge is right. They could use a break, too. I mean, to be able to get another pick in the top 7, call it, and be able to add it on top of Higgins coming off the year, absolutely massive.
But what happens to the pick if it doesn't convey tonight is so hockey, so NHL, who is just not buttoned down like other leagues, because there's some ambiguity about what happens to it. Like, for example, here, I'm going to read you the scenario. If the Toronto pick lands in the top 5 this year, the pick would move to 2027 with heavy conditions.
You mean if it's outside of the top 5?
If the pick lands, so again, what Vinny cut and pasted from the Sporting News has a typo. If the Toronto pick lands outside the top 5 this year. No, Maz. Why'd you just confuse me? Why'd you do that?
Sorry, go.
If it lands in the top 5 this year, the Bruins don't get the first round pick.
Correct, but you said it conveys to the way you read it. The way you read it
just confused me.
No, the way you read it made it sound like if it lands in the top 5, it conveys to another year.
It does.
Right.
No,
because the Bruins don't get it.
I'm talking about this year's pick. The way you read it made it sound like this year's pick goes to another year. You mean the Bruins, it doesn't become the Bruins' property is what you mean. Keep going. The way you read it, never mind, just go. I heard it differently than what you said it.
I'm begging you.
Should have just let him read.
I'm begging you.
You said it conveys like you were talking about the same pick.
I am.
Go. You don't understand what I'm saying. Just go.
Toronto owes the Bruins their first-round pick.
Correct.
If it lands in the top 5 this year, tonight, this draft, the pick would move to 2027.
Correct.
With heavy conditions.
Oh, here we go.
Now, now we're going to go down because of you.
Felger.
Shush.
Maz. The Sports Hub.
I think Maz single-handedly ground the station to a halt.
You had a non-specific pronoun. Go ahead.
Okay, so we had a technical difficulty that I think was caused by the meltdown by Maz. Once again, finger banging just a harmless number or stat. So we're going to try this again. We're back to the porking of the ping pong balls.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Here's what happens tonight. If the Leafs end up outside the top 5, you get the pick.
Correct.
And they can only be at 6 or 7. You have a 58% chance of getting the Leafs pick tonight at either number 6 or number 7. That would be a boon to the Bruins organization. If they land inside the top 5, of which there's a 41.9% chance, then that pick would move to 2027 with heavy conditions. Okay, I'm reading now from the Sporting News.
Correct.
Vinny cut and pasted it in our email chain. In that scenario, what the Maple Leafs can do with their 2027 pick depends on where it lands. Just listen, Maz.
No, I know.
If it's inside the top 10, again, now this is if they land inside the top 5 tonight. And
Forget about this year.
Now the Bruins get 2027.
I got that. We're on 2027.
If the 2027 pick lands inside the top 10, Toronto has the option to either transfer it to the Bruins and give the Flyers their unprotected 2028 first-round pick, or transfer it, meaning the 2027 pick, to the Flyers and giving the Bruins their unprotected 2028 first-round pick. Apparently, the Leafs also pulled a trade with the Flyers for a top 10 protected pick in one of these years.
Right.
And without bogging people down, those are the dynamics here. If it lands outside the top 10 in 2027, the Leafs pick would go directly to the Flyers, with the Bruins automatically landing Toronto's unprotected pick in 2028. I hope you kind of follow that.
Yeah.
So in Philadelphia, though, Philadelphia apparently is under the impression, well, I'm reading from Kevin Kurtz, who's a Flyers writer, I believe. He writes that, reminder for tonight's draft lottery. According to multiple team sources, the Flyers believe that if Toronto ends up in the top 5, the Leafs get that 2027 first rounder unprotected and not top 10 protected. They believe that Toronto essentially already traded its 2028 first round pick in the Brandon Carlo deal in that situation. Again, if it ends up in the top 5, they've committed 2028 to the Bruins. That's what the Flyers believe. But they are also not completely sure if the league agrees with them, writes this Flyers writer. If Toronto ends up outside of the top 5 tonight, it's a moot point. It goes to the Bruins. Otherwise, expect the Flyers to ask the league to clarify. So, whether you followed that or not,
there's uncertainty.
It's kind of immaterial. The Flyers, they're not sure. They're not exactly sure if that pick lands inside the top 5, and now the Leafs have a future commitment to the Flyers that's top 10 protected, a future commitment to the Bruins that's unprotected, versus 27-28. They're not exactly sure what happens. But if you believe that first thing, you're gonna the Leafs are gonna choose whether to give you an unprotected pick or the Flyers an unprotected pick. Let's just sort of simplify it like that.
Yeah, right.
In which case, because the Flyers are out of division, don't you think that would go to the Flyers?
Yes.
Yeah, and I would prefer it. If the Bruins get boned tonight, I'll take the unprotected pick in 2028 because Toronto's probably going to suck again next year, especially if Austin Matthews leaves.
Okay, so I would always take the unprotected pick, especially from a trash franchise like the Leafs. So, yes, I'll wait 2 years for their unprotected pick. I'll wait 3 years for their unprotected. If the Leafs want to give me an unprotected pick, I'll take it whatever year you want to give it to me. I'll wait. Because I think that, that has a chance, given them, to be really good. Last time you did this with them, with Phil Kessel, you ended up with the number 2 overall pick, Tyler Seguin, and I think it was 11, Dougie Hamilton, or whatever that was. So, yes. Either way, you want to get that pick tonight. It's a big swing for them.
Sooner is better.
Okay, but there's still more reason to believe that the Toronto's going right back down to the bottom because of the GM they just hired.
John Chayka is his name.
John Chayka. And now we're going to play a cut. This happened yesterday.
It's so good.
At the introductory press conference for John Chayka. Okay, and I'm just going to read you the headline from Yahoo Sports. Maple Leafs confronted at John Chayka's introductory press conference for sham hiring of con artist. They were confronted by a writer from Toronto who Maz and I both know of. He's been around forever. Steve Simmons, I think his name is.
Steve Simmons, you got it.
Covered the Leafs for a long time. Probably the Jays as well, I would assume, if you know him. So this is going to be Steve Simmons asking the Toronto team president, I don't know his name.
I think it's Matt Sundin, the old player.
Oh, okay. I saw Ray Bourque punch Matt Sundin right through his face shield once in a game.
Ray Bourque, non-violent.
That's how,
when it comes to fighting.
That's how big of a dick this Matt Sundin must have been.
I don't think the question was to Sundin, though. It was to the CEO. But go ahead.
Players back then used to look down on the guys that wore the shields because they were mostly Europeans. So they thought they were soft pusses with that shield. Ray Bourque once took and punched Matt Sundin right through his shield, and the shield collapsed on his face. Sorry. So this is Steve Simmons of the Toronto Star, or whatever, asking the CEO or the president, whoever, about their new GM, John Chayka. Go ahead there, Jimmy.
Steve Simmons, Toronto Sun, for Keith. You talk about the due diligence that you did on John prior to hiring him and now hiring him. In the past, say, 3 to 4 days, I have been in contact with about 20 people who work in the National Hockey League, many of whom are prominent names that we would all know. And of the 20 people I spoke to, one was supportive of John's hiring, and the other 19 thought it was a sham, to be perfectly honest. Words were used like con artist, liar, salesman. How did you come to a different conclusion that I was able to come to in a very short time?
I must have talked to different people.
That's it? Because I'm telling you, the hockey world today is astounded by this announcement.
Okay.
And your response to that?
Is we've conducted due diligence, and it was deep due diligence. It was a thorough process, and I'm quite happy with where we've landed.
Okay, so that's what's going on in Toronto.
The Toronto hockey media.
The anti-Celtics media.
Vicious.
Yes.
They are vicious. They are glass eaters.
As evidenced by that. Have you ever heard anything like that?
It's so good. But this Chayka, I was reading up on him, is a real piece of work. He was suspended from working in the league in 2021 because Gary Bettman cited conduct detrimental to the league and the game. Further ruled that Chayka had breached his obligation with the club. He was then with the Arizona Coyotes because he was looking for jobs with other teams while still under contract with the Coyotes. And then Chayka and the Coyotes were later revealed to have hosted private scouting combine, a scouting combine for draft prospects, which is strictly forbidden by the NHL. And because of that, Arizona had to forfeit their second-round pick in 2020 and their first-round pick in 2021. His name's been mud since. And this is who the Maple Leafs just hired as their GM? They don't deserve to get this pick tonight.
I mean, if you took the hockey out of it and just read the description, I'd tell you it was Belichick. But go ahead. Like, it's not like he played by the rules.
So how about that? How's that for confrontational media up there in Toronto? Love it.
Oh, it's excellent.
So, this is all a long story short.
I talked to 20 people, and they all think you're an idiot.
Your thoughts?
That's basically what their question
that's what
was.
He did, yeah. So it could be a big night for the Bruins tonight. For the second straight year, the lottery will also play out in real time for all to see. I'm reading from NHL.com. Like the lottery in 2025, instead of watching a countdown from 16 to 1 after the lottery balls have been drawn behind the scenes, like we do in basketball, and I guess previously they did in hockey, fans will watch on live TV as the lottery balls are actually drawn. So they spit out of the machine there. And that's going to go down tonight, 7 p.m. on ESPN from Secaucus.
Love it.
So Big night for the Bees.
Yeah, give me the real thing.
And if it lands in the top 5 and the Bruins don't get that pick tonight, we'll try and unravel just what the hell happens to it, because apparently even the league or the teams don't exactly know.
This is great. This is very NHL.
So NHL.
Yeah, and we also know that, just to add to the situation, the Bruins have Florida's pick in either 27 or 28 because of the Marchand deal.
Right. Is that a conditional too, based on?
It is. It's protected in 27 in the top 10. There is a scenario here in which the Bruins, I heard Cam Neely talking about it when he was on with, was it a midday show?
Zolak and Bertrand.
Okay, yeah, Zolak and Bertrand. He was on with them and said there's a scenario in which the Bruins could end up with 3 picks in the first round in either
27 or 28.
Correct. Yep. There is a scenario, in which case we could live 2015 all over it.
Oh, yeah, goody. That worked out so well.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay. A lot of Celtics. Obviously, we hit on Roman Anthony's injury and the Red Sox and this. You can call us on whatever you want. Your call's the entire final hour. I promise. Here's a 90-second up. Oh, breaking news. I forgot. We have some breaking news, right? Why don't we do this before the update? Go ahead.
This is Breaking Sports News, powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Yes, former New England Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs has been found not guilty on charges of assault and battery and strangulation after less than 2 hours of deliberation by jurors at Norfolk County District Court today.
So, apparently, case wasn't particularly strong on the prosecution side. Diggs has been found innocent. I don't know, exonerated, whatever you want to say, found not guilty.
I did see a clip of the lead prosecutor today in closing its statement say, yeah, look, she wasn't the best witness. With that, I was like, I think he's getting off.
Yeah, not exactly a compelling case there. But I just wonder if the door is still ajar for Steph Diggs here. You know, everyone has A.J. Brown earmarked here. If that falls through, is Diggs still a possibility? Has this been holding up? Him getting a job somewhere else? I don't know. I don't know if it's Diggs is out of sight, out of mind, if he's not a consideration anymore, if this was standing in the way, this potential legal situation. Now that it's been cleared, does that clear him to go somewhere, if not here? Not that I would think it's a likelihood here, but just keep that in mind. So, Steph Diggs is the latest, and I promise your call's on everything right after the update here now with Murray.